Good morning! So guys, today I will be teaching you how to make my style of Colombian arepas. Stay tuned! Alright guys, so first we are going to boil some water. We need this to put in the masa. I usually boil about maybe a little bit more than half of this pot. Gotta prep your ingredients. So this is the main ingredient that you're gonna need. You can find this at any Latin store, Cárdenas, North Kate, what else, Superior, any Superior stores, any Cárdenas, they always have these there. I prefer the white corn. They have an orange one. Of course, you need lots of cheese. I am a cheese lover, and these are just, you can make arepas without cheese, but this is my main ingredient. I love cheese, so it's a must for me. And I also like to add a little kick to my arepas with some cheddar cheese as well. So I do mozzarella inside and I do cheddar cheese for the outside of the arepas to mix in the masa, which this is the masa. So whenever I say masa, I'm talking about this. And of course you're gonna need some salt. All right guys, so meanwhile the water boils, I'm gonna grab my masa pan, and for my family, with 1 coffee cup is enough. For my family of 5, I have 3 kids. They have like 1 arepa each, and then my husband likes to have 2 arepas. And I usually have like 1 or 2, so we can make enough for a family of 5 with 1 whole cup of just a coffee cup. I don't really have, I have measuring cups, but you know, I like to make it raw. I don't like to make things a little complicated. All right, so you're gonna put this in your bowl, okay? Okay, so after you've done that, I'm gonna reuse the cup that I had before, and we're gonna add a little bit of milk. This is only to wet your hands while you are making the arepas, because it gives the arepas a little brownish, you know, color when you're actually like frying them. It'll give them some color. It's not part of an ingredient that you're gonna put into your arepas. It's literally just to wet your hands instead of water, just to add like a little bit of color to your arepas. Okay, now we're gonna add some salt. You want to be careful with this because if it's too salty, the arepas won't taste as good. So I know I don't measure things well, so I'm sorry, but just kind of go with it. So this is your masa. I put all the masa in here. I usually put, this is how I measure, this is how my mom taught me, so bear with me. This is the amount of salt that I use, just kind of like, it's just a little bit of salt, and you are going to just add that in there. Now you're going to grab your mix of cheddar and mozzarella cheese. Okay, so you're going to add your mix of cheddar and mozzarella, and you're going to actually add it to your masa. I like to add a lot, just so that it's nice and cheesy. It adds flavor to the masa as you're making the arepas. It's gonna be a little squishy, but it adds really good flavor. Okay.
Okay, after you've added that, now you are going to mix it up really well. That way you mix all the salt, and you mix the masa and the cheese very, very well. That way you don't get any like salty patches when you bite into the arepas. Make sure you really distribute all the cheese and the salt really well. You
don't want to like bite into a chunky piece of salt, which has happened to me before, so that's why I'm telling you guys. Okay. Mix it, mix it, mix it. All right. So now you've got your masa ready. Now you need your milk ready because you're going to start making your arepas. My water is actually already boiling. So we are going to pour this. You guys ready? All right, guys, now we're adding the water. Be careful, do not add too much water. See, so I'm adding water. So I would add a little bit at a time because you want to make sure you don't overdo it on water. If you do, you messed up your masa. So just add a very little bit at a time, and then you're gonna mix it. And I'm telling you from experience, it's actually happened to me before where I messed it up and you have to start all over and waste materials. See how it's chunky? That wasn't enough water. So we're gonna add a little bit more water.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna keep on mixing. It's super hot, so just be careful. Don't touch the masa just yet. It's not gonna be enough water still, so it's still chunky. We gotta add more water. Once you get the hang of it, you won't take this long adding the water. I'm just doing it very slowly for you because since it'll be your first time, I want to make sure you guys get it and do it right and you don't waste your time and having to start the masa all over again. Because this masa needs to be perfect in order for you to be able to build and make your arepas.
Okay, just make sure it's a little difficult because it starts actually building now, like it starts becoming a thick masa, and it's supposed to do this. See how it's starting to lift? That means we added the perfect amount of masa. Okay, see, I can even lift it with the spoon. That means it's like perfect to make arepas. All right, now that you have your masa ready, you need to have a plate where you're gonna make your arepas. And I usually like to wet the plate a little bit here so the masa doesn't stick. So you wet it a little bit with the milk, okay? You gotta have your cheese right on the spot because you're gonna be grabbing cheese as you're making the arepa. All right, so I added oil to my, what is this thing, a pan, a skillet, or whatever this is. I added oil. I made sure I spread it all over. Not too much oil, you're not gonna deep fry. And usually arepas are not supposed to have that much oil. Real Colombian arepas, they're very lightly toasted. But my husband likes it a little crunchy, so I do like to put a little bit more oil. And I turn my heat to like a medium heat, not at high heat. That way your arepas don't get burnt. All right, so you got all your ingredients ready. And here we go. All right, so once you have your masa good, we're gonna, once it like cools down a little bit, just make sure that you're going to smash it. It's gonna be a little hot still, so make sure that you're careful. I wet my hands with cold water so that my hands would be cooled down, and you can keep on wetting them during this whole process. I usually like to do that. I wet them during the whole process to make sure. You're gonna make sure that you get through that masa really, really good so that there's no like bunches and like little balls while you're making the arepas. Make sure you smash through it really, really well.